This is the Drake Insights Podcast, your weekly dose of cutting-edge senior living marketing insights. Join me, your host, Natasha Drake, for bold ideas, proven strategies, and inspiring stories straight from the experts. Tune in and let's conquer the senior living marketing landscape together. Hey guys, welcome back to the Drake Insights Podcast. I am your host, Natasha Drake from Drake Strategic. Let's get started. So today we're going to talk about events, specifically marketing events. And this is something that actually has come up a lot recently with talking with clients, is asking for advice and direction on events. And it actually surprised me that this is not something that's thought about as much as it should be. I think a lot of times we just go, okay, well, we need to do an event, so let's just do a social event and we'll generate leads and let's just plug in events that residents have done or that we've seen be successful here. Every single event we do needs to be thought through and planned and have a purpose. It also needs to be driven from your strengths and differentiators. And if you watched the SOAR and SWOT video, this will make more sense. So number one is, let's talk about the different types of marketing events, when and how we do those events, and how to plan those into your marketing plan. So number one are the different types of marketing events. There are 4 different types. So number one are your lead generating events. These are your low barrier to entry events where anyone that's interested in your community that just wants to come get a taste of your community will come, right? Because the purpose of a lead generating event is to generate as many leads as possible. These are more expensive. You tend to do large direct mails and advertising for these. So we only do them a couple times a year, really. And this is hard to clarify because it depends on your type of community and your budget, right? So some communities may do 1 or 2 lead generating events a year. Some may need to do quarterly lead generating events. So it really depends on your community. But typically they're not done as often as the other types of communities because they are expensive and they do bring in a large number of leads, think 100 leads plus, for your sales team to then work throughout the year. My recommendation typically for lead generating events, again, it depends on your market and your location and your type of community. So this does differ depending on where you are in the country and what type of community you are. But many times early or the end of January, so early in the year when people are starting their research after the holidays, is successful. Also, the spring is a great time to do lead generating events, March or April-ish time. Summer tends to not be successful with lead generating events. Families tend to be on vacation, not wanting to go out to events or have available time. And then the fall also tends to be very popular in terms of lead generating. Early fall, before, right around when the kids go back to school or right after. Again, depending on your market, some markets that is not successful. So we'd have to dig in a little more. Some communities have found that the first week of December, right after Thanksgiving, right before the holidays, is also a time because families are with each other and they're starting to think through this process. So that's number one, your lead generating event. Your second type of event is your advancement event. Many people call it different things. I'm going to call it an advancement or a lead nurturing event. This is an event that you do in between your lead generating events to nurture and work your leads through the sales process. So this is a smaller type of event, maybe 40 to 50, maybe less than that, 35 to 40 leads will come. And this is a little bit higher barrier to entry. This is typically where you'll do something like a speaker, an educational event, something more geared to focus on your strengths and differentiators that not everyone would want to come to. Only those that truly have a higher interest in your community and maybe you're a little bit lower on the sales funnel would want to come. And the reason for that is because the purpose of this event is to work closely, right? So your sales team can have a little more one-on-one time at the event. You can talk a little more about your community, have a speaker, have an educator, some kind of topic where they're more likely to want to keep moving down the sales funnel rather than just starting their process in lead generating. The third type of event is a conversion event. This is like 5 to 10. This is where you are converting your, I hate to say hottest, I know we don't use that term anymore, but your leads that are at the bottom of the funnel, they're really getting close to making a decision, and you want to help just get that extra step over the ledge. That's called a conversion event. You can do those as many as you'd like. You can do them monthly and as needed. So a lot of times we'll do maybe little luncheons, lunch with the executive director. Maybe you have a really strong dining department and you want to have a little chef showcase with the chef. Whatever it might be, something that's really tailored to the strengths of your community, but also something of interest of that prospect, right? So you want to have something, say it's 5 prospects that you know are really into dining and you want to have a nice dining demo showcase lunch for them that with the executive director that might help push them that extra step. That's your conversion event. And the 4th type of event is your outreach referral event. So this is an event for your referrals, of course. And again, depending on your type of community, this will differ, right? We know your assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing is going to have a lot more referral events, maybe than your independent living or life plan. Everyone should do them. It's really important to be networked with your local community, whatever that might be. Every community is different depending on what you have surrounding your community. But you want to make sure you have something at the community for your referrals and your outreach network to come to. So they get to know you personally, each other, and get to know your community better as well. The timing on this varies. Again, it depends on your community and your budget. Quarterly would be great. And just to make sure that you're continually building that relationship with your referrals. So that's it. So to recap, your 4 events. Number 1, your lead generating event, low barrier to entry, a lot of leads. The purpose of this is to generate as many leads as possible. Think open house, dine and discover, taste and tour, something that's people can just come and get a taste and get a quick look at your community. Your 2nd event is your lead advancement or lead nurturing event, more educational speaker topics. Your 3rd is your conversion event, small, 5 to 10, trying to convert them to a move-in. And your 4th is your outreach, referral, networking event at the community. I'm happy to dive into this further. If anyone has any questions, we can talk a little more about your community and about where you're located and what types of events and how many events might work specifically for you. This is really a broad range of the types of events and how often to have them. I'm happy to partner with you, or you can partner with your agency to really identify how can we do these more strategically, more purposeful, tied to our strengths and differentiators to really make sure that you're spending your money wisely and you're really working those leads the right way. So thank you so much for joining the Drake Insights podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Drake from Drake Strategic. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye. Real quick, if you enjoyed watching the podcast today, please follow me and subscribe so you're notified for the next podcast. And if you have any questions or want to talk after about anything that Drake Strategic can provide for you, please reach out to me, call me, email me, or visit our website at drakestrategic.com.